Clients often ask me the same questions, and they tend to be surprised by my answers. So I figured I'd share the answers with you and clear up some of the misconceptions that so many of my clients come to me with. My goal is to leave you well informed and prepared in case you are ever in an accident. When a new client calls me frantically after an accident, one of the first things we discussed is what coverages they have on their auto policy. I have found that almost all of these new clients either don't know what coverages they have, or even worse, they enthusiastically say, "I'm fully protected because I have full coverage." I want to cringe every time I hear this common misconception, because full coverage actually means that you are not fully protected. It just means you have met the minimum requirements under the law. There's nothing full about it. It means that you have $10,000 in personal injury protection benefits to use to get yourself well regardless of who caused the accident, and it means that you have $10,000 available to you for the property damage the other person caused to your car. Notice how I said nothing here about coverage for your injuries? This full coverage is what so many of Florida drivers have these days. That means that if you are in an accident, there's a good chance that the other driver only has $10,000 to fix your car, but nothing to pay you for your injuries. Are you prepared for this scenario? Because having full coverage is going to leave you exposed. This is why you need UM coverage. To protect you, UM is coverage you pay to include on your policy that serves as a pot to collect from. When the other driver only has full coverage that doesn't cover your injuries that they cause, or when they don't have enough bodily injury liability coverage on their policy. Again, this critical UM coverage is something you need to include with your policy before the crash. So check and make sure you're getting it now. This is why I encourage everyone to get UM coverage, to be fully protected instead of just having full coverage. All too often, I see clients who are really badly hurt after an accident, missing work or needing surgery. But both drivers only had full coverage, so getting a settlement was not an option. I represented a young lady a few years back who was hit by a vehicle in Miami when she was only a pedestrian crossing the street. She was horribly injured. She had a traumatic brain injury that impaired her mental functioning and her ability to work. But she didn't have UM, and the driver who hit her unfortunately only had $25,000 in liability coverage. That was the most we could go after, even though her injuries were worth millions if she had proper insurance coverage. I had another client, a middle-aged gentleman who was hospitalized after an accident. He had to get stitches in his face and he had really bad back injuries. Unfortunately, he only had full coverage and the other driver had $10,000 in liability. That was the max we could get for him. Don't be that person who has full coverage but is left with an empty hand. If you're unsure if you have UM on your policy, reach out to us for a free policy review. We are here to help. I'm Ian Miller, founder of Miller Trial Law, the firm that gets you. If you have questions about personal injury law or insurance in Florida, drop them in the comments below. We're here to help.